Well, hi, it's Jerry with I Love RV Life, and it's that time. Joan and I are getting ready to start our 3-month winter trip, and we're excited about it. The holidays are going to be ending here soon, and we're going to be hitting the road, and we've got lots of places and stops along the way. And what is very important for us to be able to do is to start our trip planning. And there's a couple things we use when we plan our trips and as we're going down the road as well. And I want to share with you our 6 favorite phone apps that we use. The apps that we use are both Android friendly and iOS friendly. I think that's important for a couple reasons. Number one, I'm an Android fan. Joan is an iOS fan. So whatever apps we use, we want to make sure that both of our phones have those and both of the phones use them well and present them in a similar way. So as we travel down the road or as we're starting our trip planning, we're going to both be sitting here and a sheet of paper in front of us and we start laying out our trips. And I want to show you what we use to do our planning as well as we travel down the road, whether we're in a vehicle or we're at a campground. What do we do to be able to find fuel, find a rest stop, find an overnight stay, maybe a Walmart. We don't do that very often, but sometimes you're in a long spot and we can't find a campground to hook up. We'll pull over at a Walmart for the evening, but that's pretty rare for us. But even when we have that, we have an app for that as well. So it works great. We're very pleased with it. So I'm going to show this to you on my Samsung phone. It's a Samsung 8 Plus. And I'm going to be showing this to you when we go in the video. It's going to be in a portrait mode for the phone. So I'm going to be using a screen capture to be able to do that so you can actually see how the app works. So I'm going to leave me for now. And the next thing you'll be seeing is the 6 apps that we use, our 6 favorite RV travel apps. These things are really, really great. They're lifesavers. I don't know how we could travel without them, to be truthful with you. So here we go. I mentioned earlier that I use a Samsung phone. This phone that you're seeing here now in this application is actually a Samsung 8 Plus Android phone. Joan uses Apple iOS 7, and all these apps work very, very well in both of these. So I keep everything placed in this folder called Camping. So the first thing that I want to show you is down here at the bottom, you'll see one called RV Parky. RV Parky is a great app. It's really maturing well. We use it kind of as our baseline to be able to find a campground. So in this example, let's put in Little Rock, Arkansas. And you'll notice the first thing that happens here is that we bring up a map, and then inside that app you see a number of different number of different possible campgrounds showing in this area. So you can look here. This is a private. Here is a Corps of Engineer. Here's a KOA. If we wanted to stop off at a Walmart, you can look at the reviews there, and it will say, whether it's a safe spot. It really depends on what everybody comments on. And I really encourage you to start using this. And if you stay in a nice campground, or if you stay in some place that's not nice, make sure you go in here, become a user of RV Parky, and start putting some information in there. So here looks like a campground. Oh, it's a Corps of Engineer, Maumelle Park. And let's just look at it, $22 to $26. We're a senior pass holder. This is exactly up our alley, and this is what we look for. So we can click here. We can see, there's a number of reviews here. Let's look at the reviews. Well, first of all, let's look up here at the top. It's water, it's electric, it's 50 amp, it's pet friendly, picnic tables. We have bathroom showers, fire pits, dump station. You see all the emblems that are there. So this is absolutely perfect. And we start looking here, and we're seeing all these 4- and 5-star ratings and very strong comments. So this looks like an opportunity of a place that we'd want to stay. Here's a big rig. We're not in a Class A, we're in a fifth wheel, but again, if it'll support a Class A, this is exactly what we're looking for. And you can see, look at there, they had some snow. And you're just looking here at the area. This is a very nice looking location. So you can kind of get an idea of what might be available out here. So this is a great opportunity, looking at RV Parky, looking at this specific campground, of a possible place that we would want to stay. So this would be step one for us as we're starting to look at a location and planning our route and the cities that we want to visit. And again, we're a fifth wheel, we're driving a fifth wheel. I pull this thing a long way. We're probably going to stay here for about a week. So we're going to look at the different areas that are there and make sure we find us a good campground. So this would be step one. The next app that we would look at, we've found us a park here. We found it again in RV Parky. And I really want to get some other opinions of what this location may look like. Not everybody uses RV Parky. We really like to use TripAdvisor. We've had really good success with TripAdvisor. You'll have to kind of bear with it. Sometimes it can be a little, sometimes you'll have a bunch of ads pop up, or pushing some specific location, but I think that's okay. Again, it's a free app. They've got to pay for it somewhere. So I'm going to go up here in our search window, and I'm going to type in Malmö. You can see that it's right here at Malmö Park. I can go ahead and tell you that here we are. We're looking at 4.5 rating, 41 reviews. That's excellent. That's absolutely excellent. You can see here that you can visit the website. I'll show you that. If we determine this is where we want to be able to go. So we can already look here, beautiful campground, and we can start looking at the details of what people have put in here. They put a picture in this location. We can continue to go down on and on and on. Read more reviews. Since there's 41 reviews, I'm looking here: 28 excellent, 10 good, 3 average, no poor, no terrible. This is exactly what we're looking for as we're looking for a campground that we want to stay at. And I love the park, hate all the narrow roads leading into the traffic. Is horrible. But that's not the park's fault. So, you have to start taking this in, that this is probably in a congested area. And is this where you would want to be able to bring your camper? So you can continue to look on, at all the different things. People are putting pictures in here and, showing where they're staying and how pretty it is. It looks like a beautiful campground. So this is something that we would actually consider, something that, we've looked at RV Parky. We saw good reviews there. Now we're seeing in TripAdvisor, there's good reviews there. TripAdvisor even goes one more step and gives us an opportunity to be able to go to the actual website where this is located. And again, it's a Corps of Engineer park, and we can go into this specific location here and get the additional information that we need. So it's a very handy application. Works very well. I see telephone numbers here. Great application for being able to find a campground that we'd want to stay at. And again, we're going to be there for about a week. Sometimes we may be there for 2 weeks. And now that we're in TripAdvisor, we can start looking and see, what Little Rock has to offer. So we can clear that. And we can type in here, Little Rock. What does the campground have to offer us? So we can just type in the area for Little Rock. And we see that there's Little Rock, Arkansas. And we can see things to do. And then here is all the things that you can see in the area: the River Park, the Capitol, the Old House Museum, Rivermark District, Museum of Discovery, on and on and on and on and on. All the fun things that there may be to do in the area. This one's quite extensive. There's Malmö Park again. Just so much to be able to do. So this would be an area that says, for us, hey, this is a great campground. And at the same time, there's a lot of fun things to be able to do. So this is TripAdvisor, and another one of the 6 essential apps that we would use when we're considering traveling to a specific area. For those of you who need some type of a map, I need a map. I've used Garmin's, I've used TomToms. We use Garmin's for a long time. As a matter of fact, I bought a very expensive Garmin about 2 years ago, and after getting sent into a number of difficult locations with the fifth wheel, I started looking for a better way. One of my biggest challenges that I had with Garmin and I especially ran into this when I was in some of the back roads of East Texas. I was just really having trouble getting sent down side roads that just about looked like a cow path. And I had to do something different. So I started using Google Maps. As you'll notice here, I use Google Maps so much that I don't even have it in my camping area. I just use it all the time. And this is really a powerful, powerful program. Put in Maumelle. And I just happen to already have it preloaded here just to make this a little bit faster. And then I'll put in my directions for this specific location. And my starting point is going to be Macon, Georgia. And we'll preview the location, and it'll start showing us the route and how it goes. So we can start looking at this. I can look and see how far this trip is going to take us. As I look at this, and I can go ahead and tell that this is going to be a very, very long trip, 8 hours and 52 minutes, and I know that that's just going to be absolutely too much. Well, we're probably going to want to stop along the way. We're going to be driving up through Atlanta. I don't think I want to go this Birmingham route and go down through these state roads. We're just going to go ahead and do the interstates this time. And we'll just route ourselves up through Chattanooga. And this is where the power of this actually goes. So I'm going to go up here. If you'll notice at the top, I'll show you with this arrow, these top 3 little dots. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to go up here at the top, and I'm going to add a stop. And that stop, let's look at, well, here's a Best Holiday Travel Park in Rossville. That's right outside of Chattanooga. Now watch this. I'm going to put my finger on this B, and I'm going to drag it in between Macon and Maumelle Park. And all of a sudden you'll see it start rerouting me. And this is where it really gets powerful. Sometimes this thing, all these GPS maps will take you down some crazy route. What I like to be able to do, I can zoom in into a specific area, and if I wanted to go a different route, I can find something that's within that area that I might know that may be, let's say, around in this location. And, you can put in like a Cracker Barrel or something like that, and it'll redirect you. This is really, really powerful program. I've got me a waypoint here. If I wanted another waypoint, say, in Memphis, we'll use that as an example. I can go here and I can type in Memphis. M-E-M. Campgrounds. And I say, hey, there's a KOA that we could stop at overnight. So I can take that KOA and I can move him right there. And I can tell him that I'm done. And now I'll see that it's, 2 hours and 46 minutes there. And then my route is already plotted out as I continue to go to these locations. So I'm going to go ahead and do a preview. And I know I'm moving through this very, very fast, but, just play with it. So you'll see my stop there in Chattanooga. I go a little bit further, and you can see my stop B here. That's going to be in Memphis, right off of 55 as I stay at a KOA. And then there's my final destination, C, in Little Rock, Arkansas. So I know this is very, very fast. You can look at the details of your route. You can do a route preview, and it'll just show you all the different locations that you're going. And again, I know I'm moving very, very fast here, but the power of this is with Google Maps, once you get your location set up, you can save it, you can use it in the car, it will talk to you, and off you go. And it's just really a powerful, powerful program. And I just absolutely love it. I haven't gone back to the Garmin, and I don't know how long. But I will say this. Whether I'm using a Garmin, whether I'm using a TomTom, whether I'm using anything else, even if I'm using Google Maps, I just don't trust this application alone. You never know, especially if you get on things like state roads if a state road may have a low overpass or may not be truck friendly. And I'll go ahead and share this with you. If it's truck friendly, tractor trailer truck friendly, it's going to be RV friendly. So let me leave the apps here for just a second, and I want to show you this other aid that I use that I think is just absolutely critical. And it is the Rand McNally Trucker Atlas. And so let's take a break here, and then I'll come back and I'll show you some more apps. This is the Rand McNally Motor Carrier Road Atlas. Again, this thing has been a lifesaver. We talked about using, I don't care what app you're using, if you're using Google Maps, if you're using a TomTom, if you're even using one of the RV Garmin's, any of those types, any of those things that are out there, I really recommend getting this Motor Carrier Road Atlas. This is what the truckers use. It's updated. This thing it's really, really nice. It's got a kind of a gloss finish on it that, it's kind of ketchup and mustard friendly. If you're driving down the road and you decided to use it to as a placemat on the side of your truck, so it works out great for that. But the big issue here is that this Road Atlas is trucker friendly, so it's going to protect you and keep you from running under, say, a 10-foot overpass and damaging your vehicle if you've got a tall one like we have with our fifth wheel. I'm going to put a link down at the bottom where you can acquire this thing. You can buy it through Amazon. You can buy it at a truck stop. You can find these things anywhere. And again, we're getting ready to update this one here. So we've been talking about Arkansas, and you can look at this. I know this is kind of glossy, and I'll kind of zoom down again, but you can look here. Any place where you see these dark orangey yellow looking routes as you're looking at a specific area, these are trucker friendly. So especially when you're starting to go through a town, let's say that we're going to be going through Little Rock, you can see here that this has a number of trucker friendly routes, including the interstates are always going to be friendly. It's when you pull off the interstate that you get in so much trouble. And you can see, as I put my finger here, if we were to take this route for whatever reason, then you can see that it's, that it's trucker safe, as well as RV safe. If the trucks can run on it, you can run on it. So it's imperative that we use something like this because, again, we've had too many close calls, and this thing has saved us, and we just kind of pencil everything out and make sure we know exactly where we can go. So this is the Rand McNally Motor Carrier Road Atlas. Again, I would not even think about plotting a trip unless I validated it on this Road Atlas before we ever took off, just to make sure that we don't have to turn around, back up, do something crazy that's going to cause us a lot of heartache in the long run. This Road Atlas is just a lifesaver. So I know I'm showing you this in my phone format, and I know this isn't a widescreen, but again, this is the way most of us travel down the road. I'm driving. Joan may be using her phone. She's going to have it in her hand in this portrait mode, so bear with me as I continue to show you these apps in that mode as you would use them on your phone. So we've done a couple things here. We've looked at a couple different ways to be able to find us an RV park. We've plotted our route using Google Maps. I know a quick highlight there. I could probably give an hour class on how I use Google Maps. It's just, again, the more you use it, the more flexible you'll find out about it. Now, the next thing I want to do is, we might be traveling 4 or 5, maybe even 6 hours at the most, and we're going to have to stop along the way. This is a great app. This is called Rest Stop. I don't know what we would do without it. It's just absolutely fantastic. We may lay our route out as we're going down the road. Joan will pull it up, or I'll already have it pulled up, and we'll just hit them along the way. This is Georgia. Let's say we're going up to Arkansas. We're going northbound. You can see here at Macon. And then you'll see there's 285 Atlanta, and then you'll see, roughly 120 miles or so up the road, there's a rest stop that we may want to pull over, stretch our legs for a few minutes. Absolutely awesome. The other thing that you can notice here, too, is that they give you some indications what's there. Parking for cars and trucks. You'll notice that that's important. You'll also notice here that you see some marked as closed. They're probably under construction. So this will help you both in your planning as you lay things out. We'll be traveling through Tennessee. So we'll go down here into the T's, and then we'll look and see where we may want to stop in Tennessee. We're going to be on I-40. We're going to be going westbound. And then here again, you can see there's Knoxville as we're continuing to go west, toward Nashville. And you can see those places that we can pull over. And you see one that's marked closed. So again, if you got to make you a potty break, and you're wanting to stretch it 40 more miles, it might be best to go ahead and pull over if you can see this. So it's absolutely a powerful application here. So this is Rest Stops. This is an absolutely great application that we use all the time as we're going down the road. And it's just very, very beneficial for that leg stretch, and also getting some comfort relief of being able to pull that big rig over, in a safe location so that everybody can use the restroom and then head to the next location. So I've showed you 4 apps that are really essential to us. I've showed you RV Parky, TripAdvisor, Rest Stops. We went through a very quick tutorial of how we use Google Maps. And we don't stop there. We're driving down the road. It's time to get fuel. If you've got a big rig, mine's 56 feet long by the time I add a 40-foot trailer in my big F-350 Ford truck, and I've got to pull over and get some diesel. We've been up in the mountains, or we've been on a relatively long stretch. You're not going to pull into a convenience store as a rule. You're going to have to find a place that's going to support big trucks. Big Truck Stop by Allstay. This is a great application. It's currently supported on iOS. I did notice that I did not find it in the Android store. I hope it comes back to the Android store. But again, we have it on an iOS phone and we're in great shape. So look at this. Is this absolutely fantastic? I'm going to scrunch it down a little bit. Let's say that we're up in Tennessee. We're coming out of Nashville. I'm at a quarter full, and I'm looking here, and then here's all kinds of locations that I can see as we're traveling on toward Memphis that I could pull over. Here's a Pilot. I'm just using that as an example. It'll give you the mileage. If you're driving down the road and you have location services turned on, when you tap this, it'll actually say how many miles that you still have left to go. I think that's absolutely critical when you start looking at those types of things. It's absolutely a fabulous app that is free. I can look here, I can see the weather, I can see what's all offered there. And, if they've got restaurants and things like that, sometimes they'll put it in, but what cars they support and so forth. This is really a fantastic application. And again, you might not have a rest stop along the way, and you just got to pull over and stretch the legs. And you can just look at this app right here and figure out how close you are to a truck stop. It's time for a hamburger. It's time for a leg stretch, and you just want to go and, just kind of catch your breath a little bit. Absolutely fantastic app. And this is Big Truck Stops by Allstay. This is a free app. I think it's one of the few free apps that's still left with Allstay, but I absolutely love it, and we use it all the time. This is my 6th essential app. I notice you're seeing several others that's on the screen, but I'm going to only go through 6 today. And this is, these are in no specific order, and this is definitely not the least of the bunch. This is Gas Buddy. Wow, I don't know what I would do without Gas Buddy. It is one of my apps that probably saves us the most money, especially when you're burning diesel. So let's look at this application. The great thing about this is I can look at, you turn on location services, I can find out fuel near me. I'm going to push diesel up here at the top and make sure that diesel is selected. And I can start looking here and finding out, not only if you can see here, I'll take an arrow and point up here. We'll use this Raceway as an example. It's 2.7 miles from my location. It's $2.65. and I can go on and on and on and see where diesel fuel and what the cost is and just how far it is from me. I can push this. I can actually push the location. It will pull it up, and it'll also show me whatever the last person is that pulled in their regular, mid-grade, premium, and what the diesel prices are. And people will actually go in there and put reviews. I think it's just absolutely awesome. And you can go up here and push your map, and you can ask for directions. And from your location, it will zoom right in to where you need to go. And you can hit start, and it will take you directly to that location. This is Gas Buddy. This is absolutely fantastic. I just love this application. Again, it saves me a ton of money. We usually don't use this out on the open road, just because we're driving this big rig, and I might not be able to pull into a Raceway or a BP or a Shell or something like that. But once we get parked, before we leave that campground, I'll pull up Gas Buddy, and I'll get ready to cap off my tanks. And this app usually can save us, I've seen as much as a 25-cent a gallon swing in diesel. I know that's crazy, but I've actually seen it. And it can save you a lot, especially when you're out there running the roads left and right. So again, this is my 6 essential apps. This one's not necessarily the least of the bunch. Oh, let me show you this too as well before I leave. So let's say that we are going to a specific location, and I'm going to put in this Maumelle, Arkansas as a location, and just see what the fuel prices are before we get there. We may want to actually get some fuel before we get there if it's, we're crossing a state line or something like that, or we've got enough fuel that we can get to a specific location and we can save 15 cents or 20 cents a gallon. You can kind of plan your route ahead of time and determine where you can save your fuel along the way and really save some dollars. It may be enough to have lunch or something like that, but this is a huge, huge, huge money saver. And I don't know how we would deal without Gas Buddy. It's absolutely fantastic. We absolutely love it. So I hope you find this helpful, the video helpful. I hope you find these apps very, very useful. Again, I don't know how we could travel without them, whether it's maps, just to be able to find our routes. I've only given you a highlight of how we use Maps, Google Maps. It's a fantastic application. It serves us very, very well. We've been using it exclusively for about the past 18 months. We gave the Garmin up. It's just been absolutely incredible. RV Parky, great application, really maturing. I didn't show you the Good Sam app. It's on here. We use it on rare occasion. We are Good Sam members. I don't get paid anything for being able to share that, but we use it from time to time if we can't find something in an area. But it might be maybe 1 out of 30 times, 1 out of 40 times. We typically are able to find what we need. TripAdvisor, absolutely wonderful app. Yeah, I know it's a little addy, if that's even a word, but very, very, very helpful. Gas Buddy, incredible. And the truck stops is at Allstay. Again, it's free on iOS. You might have a little trouble finding it on Android. We're protecting it because we're still using it. Again, that's a free app. Works great. And then don't forget the Rand McNally Travel Atlas. It's really going to save you, especially if you're in an area that may have low overpasses or those types of things. And down in the show notes below, I'll put a link in there where you can get yours. Again, we update ours about every 2 years. That seems to work out well for us. And we're getting to that point. I'm getting ready to buy another one. These things are absolutely great. Just absolutely love them. So don't forget to subscribe. At the end of this video, I'll put a subscribe button there. And then, if this is your first time coming to I Love RV Life, to our travel channel, or to our blog at ilovervlife.com, I hope you'll take the opportunity to look around. Most of our blogs have videos, small write-ups about the area. One of the things that we put in the blogs that we don't put in the videos is lots and lots of pictures, especially when we're visiting national parks and things like that have a lot of things to be seen, a lot of wildlife, or just the scenery that's around. So take an opportunity to go to ilovervlife.com, or again, youtube.com/ilovervlife. We really appreciate you. Our subscriber count is continuing to grow. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. And we do this just for the love of RV travel. So as always, this is Jerry, and I love RV life.